I'm Robert Eric West, and this moment in Black History is brought to you by West Mortuary. Lonnie George Johnson is an African American inventor, aerospace engineer, and entrepreneur. Lonnie George Johnson was born on October the 6th, 1949 in Mobile, Alabama. His father was a World War II veteran and a civilian driver at a nearby Air Force base. His mother worked as a laundry and as a nurse's aide. During the summers, they all picked cotton on his grandfather's farm. Johnson's father was a skilled handyman, and he taught his 6 children to build their own toys. When Johnson was still a small boy, he and his dad built a pressurized Chinaberry shooter out of bamboo shoots. At the age of 13, Johnson attached a lawnmower engine to a go-kart that he had built from scraps from a junkyard and raced it down the highway until the police pulled him over. At an early age, his father explained the basic principles of electricity and taught him how to repair household appliances. Stating that he always liked to tinker with things, he once tore his sister's doll apart to see how her eyes closed. He also tried to make rocket fuel in a saucepan and almost burned their house down. Johnson earned the nickname the Professor from the kids in the neighborhood. As a teenager, he attended Williamson High School. It was an all-black school in Mobile. He drew much of his inspiration from George Washington Carver. And in 1968, Johnson represented his high school at a science fair, where he was the only black student at the fair. This was a time when African Americans had very little presence in the field of science. There, he presented a robot that he built and named it Lennox. He took home first prize. After graduating from high school, Johnson attended Tuskegee University, earning his B.S. in mechanical engineering in 1973 and a master's degree in nuclear engineering in 1975. He also holds an honorary Ph.D. in science from Tuskegee University. He went on to work for the U.S. Air Force, where he worked on the stealth bomber program, before joining NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in 1979. Dr. Lonnie Johnson might be one of the most brilliant inventors of our time. The scientist and engineer is responsible for over 250 patents, including a thermoelectric energy converter and a thin-film lithium battery. But his most famous invention, one of the best toys of the 20th century, the Super Soaker, and it came to existence all thanks to an accidental discovery. Sales of the Super Soaker took off, generating $200 million in sales in 1991. Johnson went on to tweak the design of the water gun, replacing the water in the Super Soaker with a Nerf toy projectile. Shortly after making the deal for the Super Soaker with Laramie Corporation, Laramie became a subsidiary of Hasbro. In February of 2013, Johnson filed suit against Hasbro after he discovered that he had been underpaid royalties for the Super Soaker and several of his Nerf line toys. In November of 2013, Johnson was awarded $73 million in royalties from Hasbro. Johnson is part of a small group of African American inventors whose works account for 6% of all U.S. patent applications. In 2015, the Super Soaker was inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame, and in 2022, Johnson was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. He is currently married to Linda Moore, and they have 4 children and live in Atlanta, Georgia. Join me next week on this station and on our Facebook page as I continue to highlight our history as proud African Americans.